Hi everyone, this is Aaron with Crypto Trends. Today is September 20th, 2018. In this video, I'm going to cover my process for remote viewing crypto and also future trends of what's going on. And this is for like long-term trends and stuff like that. Please keep in mind that this is not financial advice, just my opinion. So let me make sure I'm recording and it looks like it's cool. All right, so let's get on with it. Okay, so my trends on viewing and so forth like that, and how do I actually do it, my process. There's a lot of people that ask me, okay, well what do you do for, remote viewing? How do you do this? Do you, sit and stare at candles and have crystals and, see mermaids and stuff floating around and stuff like that? No, not at all. I'm not saying other remote viewers do that either. That's for sure. Let's put it this way. It is a learned process, and there's several techniques out there. I happen to do a special technique that I learned from my Sifu. You could hear of other remote viewers out there like Dick Algier. I think he's on YouTube a bit, and he talks about some of his stuff that he does, and he has like more of a formalized American way of doing remote viewing. I can do it that way, but I prefer to do it a different way, and so let's cover that. So we'll just walk on over here to my little display building here, and what I do is I do Qigong, and what that is basically the study of energy. The study of energy, of Qi. And that's the stuff that basically is like the life force, the things that make the atoms move. That's like Qi. Breath, Qi. The air is Qi, the vitality. Okay? You guys get it. Anyway, this is a practice which basically means the combination of movement, breath, and meditation all occurring simultaneously. And when that's done, that's referred to as Qigong. Now you might see some like really cool things. This is actually a guy. I gotta put his link on. I gotta find his link and put it on here. He's a Shaolin monk, and he's practicing. He's doing a bow stance right here from the Badwa Jing, which is like the 8 brocades. It's a style of workout process of Qigong, but anyway, so you do stuff like that, and you can get quite a workout, that's for sure. But he's moving, breathing, and meditating all at the same time. Also, yoga. Yoga, if you bring in the meditation aspect of it while you're moving and breathing, that is a form of Qigong as well. And yoga and Qigong are like brothers and sisters, okay? They're like brother and sister. Let's see. So if we step back here a bit, so we have Qigong, and going on down to what I practice a form of Qigong. But just basically to tell you, kind of what Qigong is, it's comprised of about a whole bunch of things. But basically, you have Yigong, which is basically you practice Qigong, so you can do Yigong, and Yi is like the wise mind, the focused mind, okay? And then you have Shengong, and Shen is like source energy, spirit, that type of thing. And then you have Negong. Ne is like internal, the internal. And so that's the study of the internal energies and so on. And if you see here, this little picture of this little guy, you see that he has some like little round balls inside of him. Those are called dantians. They're energy centers. So you have like the lower, which is the main dantian, then the middle, and then the upper one. And then we have that pole that goes through all of them. These are like cauldrons, energy centers, as you can see here. And it's an important aspect of Negong and stuff like that. And it gets way more complex than this is here, but just to give you guys kind of a clue, these are basically approximate placements of the dantians. And dantian is a mixing bowl and stuff like that. And you mix the Qi. Yeah, you mix the Qi. And you use the breath and the movements to assist with mixing the Qi. Okay, so what I actually practice is a form of Neigong, a subset of it, called Neidan. And I also practice Ling Kong Jing, which means powerful empty force. So Neidan is alchemy. It's the internal alchemy of how you are actually moving this energy around. And you can think of, okay, well, what might give you an idea of what this is? Think of acupuncture, with the needles. And what they're trying to do is balance your chi, bring it up to proper levels, clear out blockages. Like you can think that you have like tubes, like hoses, okay? Like a water hose that goes through your arms and legs and around your body and stuff, and they carry chi and they distribute it throughout your body, like like sprinklers kind of, or the circulatory system. That's actually better. That's better to describe it as like the circulatory system. And so anyway, the internal alchemy is having to deal with, okay, well, we bring in the chi, we cultivate it, we mix it, we refine it, redirect it, we condense it. That's what Neidan is. The acupuncture is where instead of you doing it for yourself, someone else is trying to assist you with the needles and stuff to actually promote those flows. So you don't have to know Neidan. You can just go and say, oh, doctor, I need an operation or whatever. And so they poke you and stuff like that. And acupuncture works. There's some, I got an ESET notification, antivirus. Okay, well, I'll forget about that for now. Probably just some ad in the background. Anyway, in Chinese, in some Chinese hospitals, they actually use acupuncture in place of anesthesia. So, does it work? Yeah, it works for some things pretty well, that's for sure. Anyway, so this is what I do. I basically move, cultivate, mix, refine, direct the energy, condense it, all this stuff. And this is along the Taoist principles. Not the Buddhist stuff like you get from India and, all the gurus out there. But I've been practicing Neidan for, a little bit over 30 years. And then Ling Kong Jing, which is powerful empty force. There's some stuff out there on YouTube where people are like doing some type of telekinesis. And I remember seeing this one guy on YouTube where it's like, old Chinese dude on Chinese television, and he's making all this sound going ee with all this effort. He's moving this brick on this table that happened to be covered with a white cloth and the good old magnet with a motor underneath the table trick. And the guy was just a charlatan. Anyway, Ling Kong Jing, a lot of people say that it's kind of like telekinesis, moving stuff, but it's not. It's more like along the lines of you can think of it like the paranormal or foresight type of thing. Giving an example, say that you studied for years and on how to make a canoe out of a log, okay, and you practice chopping every day and all this, and you practice rowing, and because that a flood is going to come one day and that you're going to need to be able to make your little canoe really quick so you can escape and survive, right? Okay, so you practice all that good stuff. Ling Kong Jing is where, okay, a flood is coming. All right, let's move to the top of the hill. And, it's a little bit different. It's empty force, but yet it's powerful, man. So you can see what school you'd want to be in. Chopping the wood or moving to the top of the hill. Anyway, so moving on. So what does all this stuff have to do with remote viewing? Oh my gosh. So why? Well, what we're looking for is Wuzhenpian, which is awakening to reality. It's seeing what's there, what's all around. It's like, guys, just wake up, see what's there. And the reason we can't see it or don't choose to see it or whatever has to deal a heck of a lot with emotions. And so all these practices they help. What I practice, they help reduce the emotional mind, so you can have a clear and focused mind. That's really it. And so you can notice things not necessarily focus, but so you can notice things, so you can listen to things, because you can listen to multiple things simultaneously. Whereas if you focused on something, it's only one thing. But we want to focus on many things simultaneously. So I put focus here because that's, a lot of people, they kind of know what I mean when I say that. Anyway, I could write a book on this stuff. But it's all to become aware of the energies around you. And I'm talking the physical presence and stuff like this. And what do I mean by that? Let's say that you probably felt something like this, where you're walking someplace at night out to your car or whatever, and all of a sudden you had this sensation that you were being watched, or there was something around the corner, and so you decided to turn left instead of going forward, or something like that. That is part of being aware of the energies around you. You're picking up on some type of a presence of a person that could have maybe not so good vibes towards you, and you're picking up on that. It's your instinct, okay? It's your instinct. So your instinct picks up on that, and your intuition kind of translates it for you, and then you decide what to do. That's what it's about. But you need to be aware of your energies around you. If you go through life oblivious, well, you're not going to feel that, and the guy around the corner might get you. Who knows, right? That's just an example. Another huge reasons for doing this type of stuff I do are for health, spirituality, unity, Zen. That's Japanese, but it's the same thing. Wu is the Wu, which is like the emptiness, the Tao. I can't describe it. It's like if you can describe it, you don't know it type of thing. But being with nature, being one, being nothing, all kind of the same. Anyway, difficult to explain. Good book to read is called Tao Te Ching, if you're ever interested. Tao Te Ching, bunch of poems, pretty cool. Okay, so moving on. So my process, what is my actual process? Well, I do Qigong exercises like Badwa Jing. It's called the 8 brocades. I do Shaolin style, and I do another exercise called the 3 treasures, and there's a whole bunch of other styles. I do limited basis, just a few. It's kind of like where you just kind of like stand in a pose and move really slowly. And I mean really slowly, because you're meditating at the same time, going from one pose to another. And think of it like in Tai Chi, where they're going from one pose to another, but way slower, almost standing still. So I do that. Physical exercises to get the Jing, the physical stuff moving. At the same time, I usually meditate before I do that. And so I'm doing Qigong, so I'm meditating at the same time that I'm doing these exercises, moving the energy. I'm practicing Neigong while I'm doing Qigong. And then after I get done with all that, then I go on and say, okay, well, let's go down and sit and meditate and get into it. And that's where I have a target that's put out there. This will be familiar with classical remote viewing. So I have my target. Target could be, I don't know, Bitcoin. What's up with Bitcoin? What's up with Stellar? What's up with XRP, etc., okay? Excuse me, let me get some coffee here. And feel free to go ahead and ask questions and stuff, and I'll answer them. Put them in the comments below. I try to answer every comment that comes up. That's for sure. I enjoy those. Okay, so moving on. So I'm locating this target, and then it's like you become, the goal is to why do you meditate? So you can become that's something similar to a radio or a tape recorder, to where you really do not judge the information that's coming in. You are just transcribing it. You're writing it down. And it might sound easy, but it's pretty difficult, because if you get your own stuff mixed in with the signal's going to be skewed. Okay? That's what happens. All right, so I record all this stuff down. I write it down, put it on the computer, whatever. After that, I basically get out of my deep meditation state, and I go do research, and I do more research. And then after I'm done researching, when I'm taking a break, during that break I have time to do research. So I think you guys get the idea. Research. I look at the fundamentals. I look at the political stuff, economic, sentiment, a whole bunch of stuff out there. As far as technical analysis, hardly any TNA as far as classical TNA. One would think it's well, you could just look at the spike in Bitcoin that we've had in the at the end of the closing. How many TNA people pick that up, right? And to what it, and to the amount that is going to be. I don't know if any. If you do, let me know. But people try to make they try to make reasons for why technical analysis works, and it's 50-50. So if you like it, great. If you don't, great. Whatever. I don't care. I just kind of like do my own thing. Sometimes I do TA. Technically, just that's part of the sentiment to see, okay, what would other people be, how are they thinking this? And then I use charts. I draw lines and lines on charts. It's not TA. It's just a general direction of like where I think things are going. And it can be it's usually sentiment related, not price related. Okay, so that is basically my process. And of course, it goes way deeper than this, but that's basically the process. And as a little exercise, let's do a little exercise, shall we? Let me go over, let me kill this thing first. There. Done with that. And let's go over to Notepad. Okay, so go ahead for an exercise. Go ahead and pretend this is a blank piece of paper, okay? And, well, Notepad isn't the greatest one. I should use Draw. What should I use? Paint. Paint is better. Okay, here's your blank piece of paper, right? And what I want you to do just take it and put it into, make 3 lines on it, okay? So you're splitting it into thirds. And then put a dot, if you can see that. Put a dot, and then put a dot. Okay? And hold on. I'm going to give you 3 targets. Just so you know, they're all going to be cryptocurrencies, okay? So just sit and breathe in. And pretend like, well, don't pretend, but just be open to receiving these targets, okay? It's kind of like I'm sending you to them via, I don't know, telepathy. It's going out into the ether, okay? It's hitting the Ethernet. Okay, so let me write these down. Okay, so I have 3 of them. And so what you do, just put your pen. Let me go ahead and make the size a little bit bigger. Put your pen on a point and just like draw. Okay? So just, let your hands go like, like you're drawing a chart, and just do it that way. Then do it for the next one, okay? And do that, and then save that paper, and then I'll go ahead and tell you which 3 these are. Okay, so you can do that, and I'll say which ones they are at the end of the video. So now let's go on and see what's actually I've done with remote viewing. Okay, what have I done? Oh my gosh. So let me take a look at this. Okay, so this was actually done back on February 1st, where I wrote all this stuff down. Okay, and as it says here, it was from viewings I've had in the past. So this is stuff prior to February. I was doing viewings, September, October, etc. And this is like a year ago, guys. Okay. And so I was getting this information on, and then I just said, you know what, people are like really stressed out because Bitcoin was like taking a dump. And so I said, okay, well, let's do a video on, remote viewing stuff. Okay. Anyway, so let's go through that right quick. So the transformation and future of Bitcoin. Woo-hoo! All right. And keep note of the things that have already hit in this. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so Bitcoin, quasi commodity, i.e., think of like gold, world currency intermediary. Okay. Think of it also, you can think of this instead of gold, you can also think of it as being bonds. Bonds, I think, is a better analogy than gold. Okay, and this information is a summary of various remote viewings from my clients. Take it as such, all right? And this is not financial advice, just my remote viewing opinion. All right, so moving on. So we have like market integration. So what's going to happen here? And the first things that we're going to see are future exchange, CBOE, CME, and others to come. So we're going to be looking at these guys to actually get in play for futures. And this was before futures were even announced. Okay, so that one hit. And yeah, others that come, and they're working on that right now, that everybody's thinking it actually got delayed today, but that one's going to hit. It's just they just need to get their IT stuff in line, and the reporting, who's going to report what to whom, so on and so forth. Okay, so they're putting the rules, the back end rules into place. They're putting in the infrastructure. It's not quite there yet. That's what I got from remote viewing on the ETFs that are coming up. Okay, so yeah, it got delayed today, but it's going to be a happening thing, I think. Anyway, so that's what I had here way back when, a year ago. Moving on, acceptance. So this is like another stage. Okay, so step 2, increase regulations. Banks and countries seek to ensure a medium of wealth transfer that provides accountability, traceability, and reliability. Sure enough, we have definitely seen that big time, and they are still working on that. Trial banking integration. Here we go. Ripple. And later on, Thor, network assurance testing. Ripple. Trial banking integration. Here we go. Boom. This one, I don't think VeChain is even aware of this yet. They might be, but I don't know. But Ripple definitely is. And there's a lot of stuff going on with Ripple, isn't there? Okay. Moving on, okay, step 4, public, and this is a soft introduction to the public. What's going to happen is that there's going to be limited ATMs installed to increase public awareness of crypto. Think of BitOcean and others, okay, mainly BitOcean for ATMs. Primarily where you're going to see a ton of this is in the Japanese, the Tokyo Olympics in 2020. That's where I'm looking for huge advertisement with a whole bunch of BitOcean ATMs all around that are serving VeChain. Okay, credit cards, like LightPay, etc., and stuff like that. Yeah, that one kind of took a dump, but anyway. Watch for strong resistance from Visa to fight against LightPay and the like. Yep, that definitely happened. It got squashed, didn't it? A couple others got squashed. Also, Amex will help lead the fight against Visa and to help really bring a lot of this crypto stuff into the public realm. Now, who is Amex or American Express partnered with? Ripple. Moving on. Public introduction. So, media trends will move from an attack and defensive stance to one of information, education, acceptance, ease of use, safety, etc. Okay, so there's going to be a switch in trend. So all the FUD crap that happens, it's going to be a lot more positive. Trial country currency. Oh my gosh, this is step 6 or stage. Okay, countries will create their own cryptocurrencies pegged to their current fiat, and they could create their own, or more than likely adopt one that's already out there. okay, and use it. The BRICS countries, these are going to be a test bed. So you have Russia, China, India, Brazil, South Africa. Yeah, so we're still waiting for this. And I actually went into this and I got some different information. And I'll cover that at as we moving on. Anyway, public banking service, banks that accept and provide services on ramps for Bitcoin and blockchain will prosper. Yep. This will force the other banks into acceptance, or else they're going to face extinction from customers and or client migration. They're going to go elsewhere. The banks, they won't be able to compete against the other banks that can save 40, 60, 70% on their transfer fees, right? Right. Thank you, Ripple. Thank you, XLM. And I should call Ripple XRP in this regard. Institutional acceptance. Okay? Same thing, right? Institutions, banks, all this good stuff. Bitcoin becomes publicly viable as a commodity store of wealth. That's what we're looking for. It's starting to become that. We need the laws and stuff, right? Institutional investment is allowed. We're almost there, right? We're gearing up. BTC is instantiated as a viable migration path. That has actually happened already, as there is a ton, an absolutely ton of volume on the OTC markets. And that's because these institutions are buying their stuff right there. They're getting geared up to do their trading desks and so on and so forth. But this is going to be big next year, I think. And a lot of other people think so as well. Also, this has to deal with when we see the dollar go down, we see Bitcoin make a move. And we can see the relationship between that because they're moving in and out of Bitcoin. It's a migration path from the dollar or, from stocks, whatever, okay? So they're looking, BT is becoming a migratory destination for investors. And then, so they're going to move between stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and various other crypto index funds, i.e., this was the crypto index fund from Coinbase, specifically talking about here. Keep in mind, this was before Coinbase even mentioned that. Moving on, correspondent banks. These banks use BTC for transaction settlements. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, BRICS. Okay, so these banks are going to use BTC for transaction settlements between the BRICS countries because they're the first ones to go. Also, a whole bunch of other countries. The Ripple network is going to be used. That is for sure. Ripple network is going to be used. So is Stellar, and so are others. Okay, but keep in mind, guys, this is a year ago. Boom, Ripple network used. Getting pretty close, right? A couple months. Public integration. This is occurring during the previous steps. Okay. Availability of ATMs, Light Pay and the like, merchant services, Stripe, Square, Amazon, whatever. Watch for a credit card size smart chip hardware wallet from VeChain. Yeah, they could be working on that. Don't know. It's just something I saw. Maybe that could be like a year and a half, 2 years down the line. Okay. No big deal. Public integration banking. Banks will offer a variety of crypto services to consumers depositing their crypto. Safe storage. Imagine that. Safe deposit boxes for their keys. Yes, they've actually done that for their physical keys. The safe storage is what they want to know. We call that custody, right? Big deal. FDIC deposit insurance. Yep. We've seen that. That is all coming in. This is the infrastructure stuff. Bank-specific crypto. Think of B of A coin. We haven't seen that yet. But these other stuff we've heard about, and they've been in the works. Not quite there yet. Some are there, some aren't. Okay? In the works. Moving on to public integration services. Wide variety of investment services, including volatility gap insurance. Just as an example. Wouldn't that be cool? Oh, it goes down. Well, hey, give me some gap insurance to fill it in. Like a hedge, right? Majority of merchants and online stores are accepting Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency at this time. This is the public integration, okay? And then this is a soft integration part. See the correspondent bankings. They're using BTC and crypto worldwide, okay? And the banks, here's the main point. The banks will encourage the trade-in of the cumbersome fiat and coinage for crypto. Okay, you know, the fiat, the dollar is just covered with cocaine dust, and the coins are heavy and make noise and blah blah blah, right? After that, look for banks start charging high fees and have negative interest rates for fiat accounts. Okay, so if you haven't moved over to a crypto account, boom, yeah, you can still have your fiat, but you're going to pay for it. This is a public integration, and this is forced. Government's forced to turn in fiat, much like gold in 1933. So you're going to have to turn in your fiat, period, or else it's going to be worthless. If you want to check this out, check out Executive Order 6102 by Roosevelt. Turn in your gold. It's going to be turn in your fiat, so no more hiding it under the mattress. Then after this, BTC, yeah, we're looking at basically a one world currency. Okay, that's what it's all about, guys. A one world currency where every damn thing is tracked. Everything. Plus the money can be taken away from you. Okay, it can be put in and taken out. And everything is tracked. That is the goal. BTC is the wealth. Having BTC is like owning actual stock and like the Fed, not its dollars. The dollars are dead. So, but the actual company, okay, equity, which we can't do now. We cannot do now. And the expected price of BTC, sky's the limit, man. All this to happen, I'm looking about 10 to 15 years. Okay, a lot of it has already happened. Okay, so moving on. This is what was, I updated this actually today. This is part of the plan where everything is being tracking. And this is one thing under currency because of all the movement on XRP. I thought this would be interesting for people. So let's look at currency where a lot of the cryptos, where a lot of them will be used mostly by the countries as the country's currency, or where just an overwhelming amount of merchants and stuff accept it. So it's acting as the currency in a way, okay? They also could have like their own state-run currency, cryptocurrency. So first off, XRP. So where is XRP going to be huge at? XRP, USA. And note the little stars there. Interesting information on that one. We'll get to that. So USA, United States, most of the British Empire, Japan and Taiwan at first, but then we're going to see it move over to VTHOR. Germany, Liechtenstein, Saudi, Philippines, Egypt, Jordan, Ukraine, Puerto Rico, Chile, and Slovakia. Okay, those are going to be the big countries for XRP. For XLM, most of Africa, Norway, Mexico and Central America, Ireland, pretty much the remainder of the EU. For the countries that aren't mentioned specifically, okay? Laos, Vietnam, Iraq, Syria, United Emirates, Turkey, Indonesia, Poland, Afghanistan, Myanmar, which is Burma. And then here's an unusual one. This came up. This kind of blew me away. VeChain Thor as a currency. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, this came up as a currency and a pretty big one. And so where are we looking at for that? We're looking at China, Japan, Taiwan, France, Vietnam, North and South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, Bahrain, the Bahamas, Texas. This is what I said was interesting about the U.S. Most of the U.S. will be on Ripple, but Texas is going to be on VeChain Thor. Very interesting. I have to look further into that. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Italy, Greece, Luxembourg, Belgium, Netherlands, Malta, Australia, Qatar, Kuwait, Dubai, Cyprus, Nepal, Romania, Bulgaria, Czechia, which used to be Czechoslovakia, right? Corsica and Sardinia. Wow. Pure BTC, where they only want BTC. Switzerland, Austria, Iceland, Denmark, Hungary, Sweden, Norway, Finland, and Monaco. And then BRK. It's not created yet, but this is going to be like the Russian ruble, okay? For the BRIC countries. Russia, India, Brazil, Argentina, Cuba, Iran, South Africa, Lebanon, Zimbabwe, Pakistan, and Croatia. And there we go. And there we go. So that is some information that I'm getting. And this is like, guys, this information is like 10, 15 years out, okay? 10 or 15 years out. Just, do a screenshot or something like this. Watch for announcements of where XRP or where XLM are making progress on establishing the banking relationships and so on and so forth. VeChain is very interesting as far as this. First, it'll happen in China if it does, okay? But really interesting stuff. And so that's about it. That's about it. So let me go back, see if there's like any little questions here. I'll go down to the chat, and yeah, there are. So hey guys, ooh, a lot of questions. Awesome. All right, Crypto Head, like the name, man. Hello, how's it going? The Eye of Ra. Yeah, on the where's that? That right there. It's the Eye of Ra. It's basically. It represents the third eye, which is the where a lot of people tend to think that, okay, well, that's really where the source energy comes in and allows you to see things. Okay, that's kind of like that. So I stuck it on there because basically it's the closest symbol I could find that kind of represents that and look cool. So yeah. It's not a devil thing at all. Okay. Future 8. Okay. The Gale travels. Future trends. Hold on. Let me read this here. Okay. Yeah. Future trends. VeChain to the future. Yeah. Yep. That's how I see it. Yeah, it's different from the energy stuff is different from chakras. Chakras are more aligned to think of it like a vortex. They're more aligned with acupuncture points. These the dantians, the third eye would be the upper dantian, the Shang dantian, and it's an energy center. Think of it as like a balloon in there, or a mixing bowl where there's a bunch of swirling energy. Okay. And Adam says hello from Australia. Well, hello. Cheers, mate. Have a lot of Australian viewers, so always great. It's somewhat in the morning there, isn't it? Like around what, 10 or something like that? Anyway, thanks for watching. Empire XRP to the moon. Yeah, XRP to the moon, and it is having a fantastic day, isn't it? So good luck to all those XRP holders. Yes, I hold XRP. Yes, I hold XLM. And you know what? I figured this world is just big enough for both of them. And that's why I showed this here. I mean, look at all these countries, okay? XRP doesn't have to have all of them. XLM doesn't. BTC, well, probably BTC, everybody will accept it, right? And there's going to be stuff where, yeah, they can swap for BTC, etc. But yeah, that's why I showed that this thing here, because there's a lot of infighting, a lot of team play. Oh, my coin's better than your coin type of BS. Buy them both and win 2 times instead of just once, right? Not financial advice. Are these future trends? Yes, these are future trends. When I did this, the first part, except for the very last page, that was all done from remote viewings prior to December of 2017. Okay, so those are all from viewings from November, from September, and before in 2017. And it's because of the huge drop in Bitcoin, where everyone was just freaking out when we're coming down from 20,000. I decided to make a video to give, so people could actually see that, hey, it's 20,000 now. That's a killer price, compared to what it's going to be. That's a killer price, and you're worried about it? It's like, come on, man. Anyway, to give them a hope, okay? But yeah, future trends, and you can see that a lot of them have ticked off already. Okay, moving on, moving on. VET Q4. VET in Q4, interesting times. End of October is when Ocean X is supposed to hopefully go live. Yeah, I'll give it, a week or two leeway. But Ocean X is going to be interesting times. If you haven't looked at VET, highly recommend you do homework on it. Very interesting stuff. Check out their Reddit, check out their links, okay? Interesting stuff. Love XRP and VET. Yeah, me too. XRP mostly used, not BTC. That's exactly how I see it. I think BTC is not going to be used by very many countries or people out there, but it will be a store of wealth. Think of an analogy. Compare it to bonds. Okay, compare it to bonds. And when China, we talk about, oh, China holds a lot of our debt. What are they buying? They're buying bonds. They're buying huge government-issued IOUs. They're not buying the currency. They're not buying this or that. They're buying a bond, and they're getting a rate of return on it, etc. That's basically how I see BTC. Now, will it be actual BTC? With the keys and stuff, nah, for like bonds and stuff, I think it's going to be more of like an IOU where you have a right to collect it. It's similar to how we store other countries' gold in our vaults, where they say, okay, well, yeah, we owe you this amount of gold, and then they say they want it, and supposedly we put it on a truck and give it to them. So that's how I see BTC. Not used by much in the future, but a few countries, and yeah, it will be able to do that because of lightning and other good stuff. Then the nipple network. Okay. Moving on. Yeah, a lot of people think BTC will be used, but man, what's the use case for it, really? It's slow. You have the miner issue. Best thing with about BTC was Bitcoin Gold, because you could actually mine on a graphics card on a computer and do that fairly decently. You used to be able to do that on BTC, but then they came out with the ASIC stuff, and that just pretty much killed the intent of Bitcoin. Let's put it that way. Killed the intent of Bitcoin. It made it far more centralized to a degree. And I know I'm going to get some slack for that, but man, when you have large corporations that are mining Bitcoin, and not everybody, it's not distributed. People know, they say, oh, Bitcoin's distributed. BS. It's not. It's up there with Neo and EOS. It's not distributed, okay? And that's like a tangent. I love Bitcoin still. I still think it's like it's in its own league. It's like the bond. Okay, you have bonds and then you have stocks. All right, and Bitcoin is a bond, which is absolutely huge. Moving on. So that was Empire. Thank you for your comment, Empire. Appreciate it. So Gail says, Gail travels. Won't be trusting banks for my crypto storage. Kind of defeats the purpose. Yes, it does. But there's a lot of people out there who will. Good old custody, huh? But, yeah. Yeah, good old custody. Okay, let me read this next one. Hey, are you an ex-Nodoripto busy? No idea what that is. Sorry, Joe Smith. Not quite sure. Put that in a comment below. So Ranger says Ripple has established a massive network. It'll be hard to compete with that. though competition is healthy. Yeah, it is going to be hard to compete with that. It is. Absolutely. That's why there's only these few coins. Okay? This is Russia. This is Russia's coins. Okay? They're not going to want to deal with stuff that's American controlled, basically. No way. So this is Russia's crypto ruble. I just call it BRK for brick. So we'll see. But yeah, the network is going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be extremely important. You can look at that big piece of land that company bought outside of Tahoe or Reno. I think it's Reno, at a business park. And I believe that's so they can actually have a mining farm where they can actually physically secure it. And so we'll see. And it won't just be like BTC, it'll be other things. And one thing about that area is that, there's a lot of sunshine. And with sunshine comes solar arrays. There you go. Interesting things. But yeah, massive network, hard to compete, exactly. Many, many, many coins won't be able to. And Joe Smith says, find my Telly VeChain exclusive on Telly. I have no idea what Telly is. Do you mean television? I have no idea. If you mean television, I'm sorry, I don't have television. Exactly, game travels. Okay. Yeah, the gal says they do everything big in Texas. No further research needed. Yeah, that's an interesting thing with Texas. Interesting thing. Okay, Joe says, I meant if I am an X node. No, I wish. That would be great. Oh, Telly, he means Telegram. Okay. Because in, a lot of Brits call Telly, television. All right. Or television Telly. So Telegram. Thank you for the clarity. Well, I'll check you out regardless. Okay, yeah, I'll check you guys out. And yeah, so anyone else interested, give you a little bump here. Joe Smith, anybody else interested that has X nodes, check out his Telegram and VeChain exclusive, which is cool. Go VeChain. One thing for VeChain people out there that just have VeChain, or XLM or XRP, I see this team thing going on so much. Please keep in mind that there's a lot of people that don't have these coins, and it's time for compassion. Okay? Don't put them down. Don't rub their face in it. Welcome them, because they want to be winners as well. And it's not a time to really pour salt on the wound. There's a lot of coins that have been ripped down 95%. People are angry, and it's time for compassion, to welcome them in and to help them and assist them to get them on their way. And that's about it. So hey, if you like XRP, great. If you like XLM, great. Best of luck to both of you guys. We're all here to make money. Okay? We're here to make money. All right, so it's 5:30. I got to get going. I have a Qigong class I actually have to go teach. So anyway, thanks for watching. You guys know the drill. Hit the likes. Pound the heck out of these likes. Get notified and all that other good stuff. Leave comments and stuff. I'll try to answer them. Anyway, I got to take off, and hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, successful day. Catch you later. Bye.